All right, so I don't really have anything new coming up or to talk about here. I'm just gonna recap stuff that I've already been talking about. Oh well, I did want to kind of bring up a point. I know that I don't have to, and I'm not supposed to bring up points that are like super obvious. Sometimes I find myself in a position, unfortunately, where despite what should happen and regularly happens and is supposed to happen, doesn't happen, and puts me in an odd situation, an odd, not situation, an odd position. So I have, right now I have 17,000 something views. I was at 16,000 something 2 months ago, and my counter just stopped. Okay, it stayed at 16 for like 2 months, and a couple of days ago they put it at 17 something. I just find that hard to believe because I was getting like 2,000 views on like per video at one point. So I don't know how that happened really. But you know, again, I'm just reminding you that that's a lot of views. That means a lot of people have seen it. Even if 100 views would have meant, if I had 100 views, that would mean like 100 times I had been watched on my video that I released talking about stuff. The 17,000 is like way more than that. Anyways, that's the sound to go on. I just want to recap stuff we've been talking about. I don't have anything particular in my mind. I'm just gonna recap stuff. On the last video, the part 2 that I did, I talked about being in the child world genuinely, and yeah, you know, I just kind of like, you gotta understand, sometimes you just find yourself in a position because you kind of belong in that position. You know what I mean? I had people around me who had their own lives. I didn't know anything about their lives, okay? They pretty much lived secret lives, okay? Even from each other. Every single person had their own friends, their own events, and they didn't talk about 99% of their lives, okay? And the same thing went for when I was in school. Kids didn't tell me anything about their, you know what I mean? And it was what it was. Was I successful as a child? I think I was. Genuinely being as a child, I think I was successful, but you know, when you formally become an adult and you're still genuinely a child, it's a bit of a doobie and it gets difficult. Not to be confused with the word dubious. Dull, yeah. It's like Homer Simpson would say dull instead of a doobie. So you know, but I never had a presence really. I was isolated. And that was just my position in life and the way that it was and the way that I was growing up and the way that I found my place in this world at that time and how I find it now. But the point is, you know, when you're in an adult world, if like for me, being a self-starter, now having a presence, growing and changing, but being a self-starter, I mean, genuinely being a child's age, I'm so limited in what I can do. Genuinely being an adult in this world, genuinely, and formally being an adult in this world, I mean, it's a big deal. Now, I want to clarify something. Formally being an adult, but genuinely being a child, can put a person at a big disadvantage. Now, formally, when I was 18, 19, life started to change right away. 18, I got a job, blah, blah, blah. 19, I moved out, got my own apartment, had my own apartment to myself. And all that, and I had all that going on for myself at the time. But I told you, when I robbed that bag, it was like I was in dead time. Not only literally was my life hanging in the balance for all that time, but I was in dead time. And it was almost like I went back to being genuinely a child. Like I literally went to sleep, dreamt that I was 15 years old, going to school on a regular day, thinking that was who I was. Like that's what was happening. Woke up, oh my God, I'm in jail right now. You know what I mean? I only spent a total of 6 weeks in jail. But I mean, when you're new in jail, I guess you get into fights and things like that. And you know, anyways, I don't even want, well, it's not a big deal to talk about. Now I'm a different guy, but I don't know. There's a lot of pussies out there, man. There's just a lot of pussies out there. They haven't earned anything and they're trying to take your spot. You're like, bam! bam, I just slap you across your little fucking dumb face. Anyways, well, let's get right back into it. So that was probably these 7 years, hands down, was the most difficult time of my life. Like by miles and miles. This was the most difficult time of my life. At the same time, it was a time that I changed, grew, and got stronger quite considerably. Well, just insanely, just by so much. And it's cool, but just to be back and not be in that time anymore, to be back to my old position, 24 and a half years old, the guy that I was formerly, genuinely, whatever the case is, to get that spot back for myself and to be like at a higher level on that echelon, like holding my spot while being at such a high level. I mean, it's a good thing. It's an accomplishment. Feels good. And it's great. There are certain nations that I don't like. There are certain, like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and I can go on and go on. I don't really like South Korea that much. People might be mad at that. I don't like certain countries here and there. And I'll tell you what the reason is. The reason is that, like, for us being Latin, we understand each other. All Latin people, we all understand each other. We know what we're about. We know what our tendencies are. We understand who we are. These people are basically different from us. They don't like people like us, basically. In their countries, it's like the shittiest people that take power, and they have ridiculous nicknames for themselves when there's like little fat men and all that. I mean, it's really funny, really. I mean, when you look at these people, and then it's like a little kid trying to challenge me to a fight, and I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to like beat the fuck out of you right now. You know what I mean? But when that kid is an adult and he's really trying to fuck with me, I'm like, grab you like this, put you against a wall, teach you a lesson. You know what I mean? Give you some tough love. Gave me something they never got. You know what I mean? They got whatever they got that wasn't tough love in their life that they ever got. I just find it pathetic that somebody like that would even challenge me or try to, like, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, badly I'm gonna fuck your ass. How you gonna, like, you're nothing, man. You're a little monkey, man. Why are you trying to challenge me? You're nothing at all. You're really nothing, man. You're nothing at all, man. Even the monkeys think you're low, man. You're really nothing at all. I mean, you got nothing to stand on at all. Your country's a piece of shit. You've been invaded and conquered so many times by people that you hate. You know what I mean? What are you? I mean, you were until the British came and came in. I mean, and you were by the way, you were a British colony. And prior to that, I mean, you were like, there were just some Arabs ran in, and they were Muslim Arabs, and they ran in, and they had a Hindu religion in Pakistan. They ran in and they just took over all of Pakistan. They burnt down all their temples and they built mosques. Today, the religion that they practice is a religion of the people that invaded them. It's just like, how can you get any lower than that? And if you're a white bitch that's putting them on, sooner or later you'll get found out. Sooner or later you'll get found out. Sooner or later, I'm not talking about a slap or two, because you already got that recently, but sooner or later you'll get found out. And people are not gonna stand for shit like that. You're gonna get your ass fucked up. Like a slap or two just wasn't enough. You're gonna get pounded out, eh? Probably by another female who's gonna pound the shit out of you. Anyways, moving on. So we know what it is. We don't like these people. We don't like what they're doing. And we're not gonna stand for it, and we're gonna fuck them up every day if we have to, until we teach them a fucking lesson to get into behavior mode. You behave so well for that little piece of shit man, and when you see real men, you have a complex, like a inferiority complex. You're always cursing people who are better off than you, who have more money than your country, who are doing better than you, and you like to sit in the shadows with your gay little friends and have your own little shit talking. Never would you say that to anybody in public, or even on an international level. You don't challenge anybody, man. You've never conquered or challenged anything. Your nation was taken over by Moguls, who were, I don't know, what are they, Mongols or Uzbekistanis? You were under the Mughal Empire for like 500 years or something, man. Until the British conquered you and made you a colony, you have always been ruled over. You only came into existence like 65 years ago or something. For like all those thousands of years, you were always a colony to invaders. I mean, you got a guy who's not only is he a pedophile and he's been pedophile, he's part of a pedophile community, not only is he a piece of shit, not only is he willing to pimp minors, and you got a stupid white bitch that's putting a thumbnail to give him like face or whatever. I mean, think about it, man. Let's find out who this bitch is. Let's find out who her family is, man. And let's give him the shit, man. Let's give him the shit. This is the guy that you keep putting on? A guy who's pimping underage girls? A guy who's a pedophile and he's pimping underage girls to grown men? Are you serious right now? We gotta find out who this stupid bitch is, man. We gotta find out who all the people are behind these people. We gotta uncover them and we just gotta take care of them, man. That's the only way they'll learn, you know? It's been like a while now. It's like you're putting on somebody who's pimping minors, man? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, you know? It's ridiculous. I can't believe I have to deal with it. I wish I had like real competition to deal with. You know, like people were like on my level. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like people were on my level were actually, you know, are not pieces of shit. Have some kind of intellectual level, have some kind of integrity for themselves. I would compete with those people. But these kind of people, man, I bet you the bitch is even involved in trafficking children too, to adults. I wouldn't be surprised. Why would two birds of a feather work together, man? Why would she be a normal chick, man? Her family's probably doing the same thing. Sometimes the white people, the white trash actually, they get a kick out of getting Europeans and French and Italians and stuff, and they're like putting them behind black people. So what they do is they go, well, internationally in the world, you might think you're the shit, you might be on top, but in our worlds, in our companies, the companies we own, in our parties, we always put you behind black people. How do you like that? No, you're not gonna make us do anything different. You know what I mean? You gotta come to me because you're the top, right? So you have to come to me. I'm the piece of shit. Like, it's this fucked up mentality these people have, man. You know what I mean? I want to talk about all the interesting stuff that I was talking about. And these pieces of shit, like, it's crazy because when I see brown guys usually, like, dude, even if I look at a brown, and this is how, like, I see a brown guy and I go, dude, listen, don't do that. Right away stops. I look at them, oh, you know what I mean? I see these guys are like punking out and I could literally just submit like that, you know, like, you are our true invaders. You were the ones who invaded and conquered our country. Not specifically, but even if we're land, to them, they're the same thing as the people who conquered them. You are the ones. Yes, sir, you are the king. And that's what they used to do. All the people that invaded and ruled them, they would go, you are the best. With the British too. You are the best. With the Moguls, you are the best. You know, when they were part of when they were a Persian colony, you are the best. You are the very best. Then they go in the back. Oh my God, these pieces of shit. Ha 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 ha. These pieces of shit. Ha ha ha. Meanwhile, your girlfriend wants to fuck these guys, and you know it, and you're actually happy because that gives you more reason to talk shit about them behind their back in your own circle. Oh, they do this. Oh, they ha 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 ha. Oh, we're the best. Ha ha. Oh, I got a stupid white bitch who's also trafficking. Her whole community's into trafficking children to adults. She put me on. Yeah. Like, holy fuck, man. Bam, bam, bam. Put you in your place, man. With me, they won't even come around me. They're scared of me, eh? Pakistanis are so... Dude, Pakistanis piss their pants. Arabs have some balls, but they know I'll put them down, you know? An Arab knows I'll put them down. But with Pakistanis, they just turn pussy. You are the best, sir. You are the best. Pakistani and Indian women. Your people treated us so bad. I hate you. Go fuck yourself, bitch.